Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Today, we'll be studying Mark's Gospel and start our New Testament reading. As an aside, there was no particular reason why I selected Mark, other than I feel that it may be not as popular as John, and I had a great friend of mine in college who had the same name. So, Mark, if you're listening, thank you. Before we get into God's Word, let's take a moment to discuss the author. As an author, scholars point out that Mark wrote more so to the Roman reader, whereas the other Gospels focused their messages more for the Greeks or Hebrew audiences. Mark focuses more on what Jesus did, his miracles, actions, healing, and battling evil. Mark's Gospel is also believed to be the first Gospel written around 30 years after the events of Christ's life. Lastly, to understand Mark's Gospel, I think it's important to understand who he is not. Here are the 12 disciples and apostles in no particular order. As we look over the names, those who do not have markings next to their names are both a disciple and an apostle. Those with an asterisk next to their name are a disciple, but not an apostle, and if they have two asterisks, they are an apostle, but not a disciple, or a member of the original 12. You can see from that list that there is no Mark, or Luke for that matter. What matters is Mark wrote down the events of Jesus' life for Christians to observe. Many Bible scholars also believe that Peter was the primary source of the information found in the book. Now that we have discussed the author, I want to say that I will not do a chapter summary for this book as I have in the past, but talk more about the two themes that you see as you will read it. The two themes are sacrifice and action. I feel a verse that summarizes these two themes is Mark 12:29 through 31, though I recommend you read the entire exchange that starts at verse 28. This is in response to being asked by a scribe, "What is the greatest commandment?" Jesus answered, "The most important is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." Those are very straightforward, and I also like how Jesus not only says the most important, but also the second most as well. From this verse, I have one application that is in line with the theme of the book, as well as one general thought. Jesus tells us the greatest commandment. Remember who God is, love Him with everything we have, and then we also have to love others around us. You must do all of them together, or you do none of them at all. This requires us to sacrifice our earthly and self-driven desires and focus on God and showing His love. That's what Jesus did, and that's the example we have to follow. My next point is something I've said before, but we should remember. Just because the gospel books are different in what is said when put side by side, doesn't mean that they are not accurate. No witnesses of an event will report the same story with the same small details. They'll capture it with their own eyes, so some things might be left out. But theologically, the Gospels all encompass the person of Christ on earth. They reveal His deity, divine nature, and His fulfilling of prophecy, but also someone we can understand and who can empathize with us. Thank you for joining me as we looked at Mark. Hopefully something stuck out to you. I won't say our book for next week, but I'll give a hint. Coffee puns. Thank you for listening, have a great day, and God bless.